Hello. Well, welcome to Friday evening with the Outcast Creative. This is a bit of an unusual episode, slightly out of my usual programming ballpark. If you're checking out the channel for the first time, just a couple of clarifications. So first of all, this is my YouTube channel. I am the same Lance Nielsen that tried to get the Pegasus Bridge movie made. That'd be this one, which is out on Amazon right now. That's the script for that. And I'm also the same Lance Nielsen that's trying to get the Paratrooper TV series or pilot made. And you can read some of the scripts for that on Amazon as well. So I do have an inherent connection to the history of World War II, our military's veterans, many of whom I've met and interviewed. In fact, I've probably interviewed about over a dozen. And I have an inherent interest in the well-being of our veterans, especially those who fought in World War II. Okay, there's not many of them left now. Somebody contacted me, care of the Paratrooper Facebook page, which is where we do any updates on the show, and brought to attention the plight of a World War II veteran, formerly British Airborne. I'll get the details of where and which unit and so on shortly. And he has been recently evicted from his home in Dorset and is currently in a hostel. Not the best hostel, from what I understand. I haven't seen it myself. You can read more about Alfie's plight. There's a particularly good article in The Guardian. And I've just put the link up for that. This veteran is 98 years old, fought in World War II, and he lived for 7 years in a rented property. And I think, and he was given a no-fault eviction notice. I think this says an awful lot about not just what's wrong with the way that we treat our veterans, but the fact that we're at the mercy of our landlords, and we're in an increasing society that's dependent on rent as well. I don't want to get into a whole political thing, but there's something very wrong with this whole picture. We don't treat people right, and we're forever increasing the state of poverty that we're all in. It's not good. So very kindly, Darren and Dion, who are both ex-British forces, have agreed to come on the show to talk about this in more detail with me. And we're going to get to the nub of it. But also, Dion runs I'll let him explain it a bit further, but it's a kind of a relief centre. I wouldn't exactly call it a holiday, but almost like a respite centre for British veterans who may be dealing with PTSD. That certainly, to me, sounds like a worthy cause, and we're going to be bringing some light onto that as well. So do like and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, just to let you know that the other content is predominantly, not all of it, but predominantly about me interviewing people that work in the creative arts. There's a lot of interviews with actors, directors of photography, all of that kind of stuff. I've got actors from Game of Thrones, Alien 3, Jason Flemyng's been on, Danny Webb, all kinds of people, and you'll find them under the playlists under the industry interviews list, and I'm sure that they'll be of interest to people, not just people that work in the film industry. I also do stuff about history and that kind of thing occasionally, and also a little bit of gaming and film reviews and whatnot. You can find it all on the channel. Anyway, without any further ado, I'm going to bring Darren and Dion in. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me.
Hi, you all right? Good evening.
Evening.
So I'll introduce myself first. Yeah. I'm Darren Edmundson. I'm ex-forces. I was Royal Signals. I've been to the PTSD camp for the past 9 days now with Dion and met Alfred. So I'll pass you over to Dion and let him introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. I'm obviously Dion Drayson, ex-Parachute Regiment, 3rd Battalion, Parachute Regiment, and I run the PTSD camp down in Bath for homeless veterans or anyone suffering, anything at all.
Well, thanks guys, and thanks for coming on, and thanks for that introduction. And I think what we'll do is we'll talk about the plight of our veteran first, and then we'll get into the PTSD camp as well, if that's okay, because I'm more than happy to promote both of these. I think it's also important to point out to people that you've got, let's say this right at the beginning of the stream, you've got an event on tomorrow.
Tomorrow 10 a.m. Hike for Hero for Alfred Grenegault. The no fault eviction notice.
Yeah.
He was full eviction notice. He lived in his property for 7 years, and we're doing this event to raise money for him, so he doesn't have any difficulties. And he's going through enough stress as it is at the minute.
Sure.
So yeah, 10 a.m. tomorrow, Pembroke train station to Tenby. If you can, if you guys can make it there, just to show support, you don't have to join in. If you can't, if you could make a small donation, I think the donations are in the link. That would be much appreciated.
Yeah, the PayPal donation link is right down below. People can check that in the information. What is it tomorrow? Is it like a charity 10-mile walk or something that anybody can join
10-mile
in?
Walk. We've got veterans coming down from Lincolnshire, obviously from Bath, up from Bristol, from Carmarthen, some from Swansea. There's going to be about 20-30 of us doing the hike, and we're going to do a 10-mile hike to raise money for Alfred. And then in Tenby, we're going to do a little collection. We have started doing collections this week in Bath or Trowbridge, even outside Asda. They've been very good. We've made a couple of £100 there this week to go towards the event tomorrow. So yeah, it's been really good.
And what's the plan where the veteran's concerned in terms of what are you looking to do for him with this money? Are you going to rent some new? The idea is to get maybe enough for a deposit and rent new accommodation, or what's the plan?
No, the plan. Look, Alfie likes to go fishing, so the plan is that we'll fund that. We last Monday we took him fishing, had a whole day fishing, and that was funded out of our own pocket, but we've got other events for him to go fishing, so it'll be used for that. But not only that, he likes to go to church on a Tuesday and a Thursday, which is when I say church, it's like a dinner club. That costs £45 a time to get him there in a taxi and get him home, so it'll be used for that, and it would also be used for just getting him out of the house, taking him to a cafe, little things like that. And if they need anything of any importance, the money's there for that,
And if more substantial funds are raised, because it could happen, you never know, would that be used to seek him out new accommodation?
Absolutely. Yeah. If there was enough money raised, which we're hoping there is, fingers crossed, guys. It's all down to you guys that make a donation. Then it'd be so. Basically, he went to the council and they've told him he's got a year waiting list after being served a no fault eviction notice. They've stuck him in this hostel. Now, this hostel, if you look on my lives on Facebook, Darren Edmundson, you'll see the hostel is not in a great condition. There's young families there. It's in a pretty bad way. It's not suitable for his needs, really. So if we can raise enough money, which I'm hoping we will, he can obviously put that towards housing and finding himself a more suitable accommodation.
Yeah, I find it quite unbelievable that a council would consider putting somebody on a year-long waiting list who is 98 years of age and also a veteran of our forces who served in World War II. There wouldn't be a council if it wasn't for people like him.
He's one of the first landings in Normandy. D-Day veteran. He's one of 6 that are left from the. Is that right? One of 6.
Yeah, one of only 6 left now.
Do you know which battalion he was with in Normandy? Because that's something of a specialty subject of mine.
He was originally he was Royal Irish, and then he joined the 6th Division Parachute Regiment.
6th Airborne, yeah.
For I think it was for 1 bob a day or something like that. But once he joined the Parachute Regiment, and he got his wings, he got 2 bob a day.
Do you know if he was with 7th Battalion? That would have been under Colonel Pinecoffin. They were the battalion that dropped 1 hour after the gliders at Pegasus Bridge, and they went to reinforce the bridge and hold off the forces there.
Yeah, he was on Pegasus Bridge. He landed. He landed in his glider, and because they'd already taken the bridge,
right?
They'd already taken the bridge. They pushed his platoon out, out to the left up the river to stop any counterattack from the Germans.
Right, yeah, he would have been in Benneville then, probably Benneville and Lepore, which would have been on the west side of the bridge, I would imagine. And that's an area that I'm extremely knowledgeable about, without meaning to sound like an idiot, because I had to write the script about it. So I've read all the after action reports and personal reports and all of those, and that was a scene of some really fierce fighting. And they only lost 2 men. The gliders only lost 2 men at the bridge, but 7th Para lost about 50 or 60 men in the first 24 hours, keeping the Germans away from the bridge. So he was probably part of that group, I'm going to guess. I mean, if he was in 9th Battalion, he would have gone to Merville and taken out the Merville battery. But
he was shot by a sniper several days.
In the face, wasn't
shot by a sniper through the cheek several days after landing.
Right.
And then because it became sort of gangrene or something like that, he was then he was telling us that he had to walk down a lane, down a track for a mile to get to the field post. And he said he walked on his own and he was expecting to get shot any time by a German.
He made the decision whether to leave his rifles.
But he got Kazivaked after that because of the state of his face. It was quite bad. Once he reached the aid post, they then Kazivaked him back to the UK because of the injury he sustained.
So you're just going back to the fundraising event tomorrow. It's culminating. It starts in Pembroke and it's culminating in Tenby.
Yeah, Pembroke train station to Tenby town centre, and then we're going to do a collection there then.
Okay, so
we've got t-shirts for sale, mugs for sale, and we got wristbands saying "Hike for Hero," Alfred Grenagalt as well.
I like that, "Hike for Hero." That's great. So this is Pembroke, Pembroke Castle. Yeah, very nice castle. And then Tenby is here. So it's an overland jolly to Tenby. Let's just be clear where. Because you're doing a bit of a fundraising event in the town centre. Where is the finishing line for this event?
The finishing line will be Tesco's, which is in the town centre in Tenby. That'll be the finishing line, and then there's like a big square there where we'll do a collection for him and say a few words.
I've got Sainsbury's, but I don't have Tesco's. I'm just trying to see if
I think Sainsbury's used to be there.
Oh, so Sainsbury's.
Yeah, so there's no Sainsbury there anymore.
Oh, is that a Tesco's now?
I believe it's by Greggs and Tesco's, or your closest reference point to that would probably be the Tenby Townhouse, which is Tenby House, which is a pub.
Okay, so I mean, but in the town, the sort of the middle.
Okay, we'll go for North Beach, Tenby North Beach.
Tenby North Beach. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
Line,
yeah, I see that.
There.
Okay.
That's it. That's the one.
All right. Very good. So anybody that can turn up tomorrow, either to take part in the walk, I think the weather's going to be okay tomorrow, so that's a relief.
The weather's looking okay, but if they can't do the walk and if they can get there at the start line and the finish line, just to show support, and get numbers and get boots on the ground, that'd be much appreciated.
Yeah, no. So just try and come along at the end. If you can't make the whole thing, or you're not feeling particularly energetic, pack a Mac and come along to Tenby Town Centre tomorrow. Cheer the guys on when they get to the end, and give what you can afford. We know we live in hard times, but this is definitely a cause, in my opinion, that deserves support.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you tell me that you had a video somewhere of Alfie
so on my Facebook page, Darren Edmundson, and on my Telegram, which is known as Pembrokeshire Patriot, there's a video of him telling a story where he got shot in the face.
Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can get that up. And do you mind me if I can find that? Oh, I've got it. So would you mind me sharing that from your Facebook?
Absolutely,
page?
Help yourself. Go for it.
Let's see if we can. Let's see. I don't know whether the sound will share. Sometimes it.
Okay. Yeah,
sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. But let me put this. I'm going to take my camera off for just a sec, and I'm going to share this and
no worries.
See if we can certainly people will be able to see Alfie even if they can't. Now, is this in the? Is this?
That's the one.
Is this where he's living now?
Yeah, this is in the hostel. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Okay. Let me just press play on this for a sec, and we'll see.
Right in front of him.
Yeah, the roof leaks right in front of him. Yeah. Is there any sound? 7-minute clip. Oh, please play. Yeah, there's no sound. It's not going to play that 7. There's no sound on it.
Okay, I'll see what I can do about that. But
if you, yeah, are you on Telegram?
No,
Right.
sadly.
Okay.
Let me just see what I can do.
I was going to say it's such a shame because it's a good story. This.
Okay, I may not be able to rectify the sound immediately, but if you, I don't know if you can send me that as a separate video file, but if not, it is on Darren Edmundson's page. If you send me it as a separate video file, I'll actually upload it to my YouTube account.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll do that. I'll do that. I'll send that to you after the show.
So, guys, I'm gonna upload that to my YouTube page, and you can see.
I could probably go grab my mate's phone and play it in the background, his story, so you could hear what he's saying.
Well, don't worry about doing it for now,
okay.
But we'll add it later. But just for anybody who's listening in, he's clearly quite sharp as a button, as they say still, and has vivid recollections, and that's great. I was going to ask you about his surname. Is he half French? Because it certainly sounds like a French surname. I was just curious.
I think he did tell me. He did actually tell me that, and I do believe there's French. I think it might have been on his father's side or something. Yeah, from France, or they're French, originally.
There's quite a nice synergy there in terms of this is a veteran who, potentially then, if that information is indeed accurate, went back to, save his father's country from Nazi occupation, which I think is quite nice. TNTV, who also runs a channel, by the way, can't hang around, but much respect for having this stream and raising money for a great cause. Thanks, mate. If you can share the stream and just give it a plug on your own channel, buddy, I'd really appreciate it. And Rory Herbert's saying it'd be good to put some pressure on Dorset Council. I would agree.
Yeah, totally agree.
We did go down there and post a couple of leaflets for the door.
The problem they're actually having, his daughter is having, is they're not getting. So they make phone calls, and there's never, no one ever gets back to them. And if they do speak to someone, the person in charge is on holiday, and there isn't anyone standing in for them. And they've been in touch with the MP 3 or 4 occasions, and never had any information back from them, or communication, or nothing. So they're actually fighting a brick wall. They're really.
Also, I'll note there as well that they've been offered holidays, nights out, staying in a hotel that people have offered to pay for, and the hostel have said, well, if you stay out overnight in a hostel, we'll evict you from the hostel. So they can't even take that offer on other people, which is crazy.
Because he's staying in the hostel, then he's essentially confined to local day trips. It's not like you can take him on an overnight to Brighton or
control, really.
Yeah, they're not allowed to leave that hostel. They have to be there all the time.
God, my father died in a care home. He choked on his sandwich in a care home, and he was in the Danish resistance. And actually, this care home was a pretty decent one, I have to say. It was not bad, but you know, it's a shameful way for him to end his life. I'd hate for this guy to pass away in this hostel after everything he's done for this country. It would just be an absolute disgrace. On that subject, maybe that's a good segue to talk about the treatment of our veterans today. And I'm not too au fait with it, although I have had conversations with people before, and I've got a huge number of friends in the military as a result of the various topics I've done and things. You guys have served relatively recently. What is the aftercare for veterans who've been in places like Afghanistan and Iraq and so on at the moment? Is it decent? Is there good structures in place or not really?
Well, okay, if you were injured or serious injury in that, you do get looked after. But the aftercare, once you're out, once you've been, like, literally, you've departed from the army, there ain't nothing there. There ain't nothing there unless you go to your doctor and see a doctor and tell them what you're suffering. They'll point you in the direction of Help for Heroes.
Right.
They'll point you into that direction. Otherwise, there's lots of sort of charity-run organisations now for people who have lost limbs and that, and you can go to them and they'll help you out. But otherwise, you're pretty much on your own.
Yeah. And I mean, so you run a service for veterans in particular that are suffering from PTSD, which sadly is something I'm very familiar with. Do you want to just tell us a bit more about that and how that works and how it came about? And obviously, Darren, you've recently benefited from taking part in this, I believe.
Yeah. So basically, Dion runs a PTSD camp in Bath along with his wife, Jo Drayson. And I come across them. I went up there for a Remembrance Day. I was following them. I thought it was a great thing that they were doing. You know, I had nobody to turn to, and I went to this camp. And the first day I went to this camp, it was the night before Remembrance Day. It was just one big happy family. Everyone got on. Everyone supported each other. I had a bit of a wobble, and they were there. They spoke to us, calmed me down. You know, and it just felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders after a couple of nights being there. You know, my experience from there was amazing, and I just want to promote this camp and, you know, and wish them all the best because they've helped me massively. I've been suffering mental health past couple of months, 9 months, and they've supported me. They've checked in on me, made sure I'm all right, and I'm 3.5 hours down the road, and they're always checking in on me.
Sure,
you know, it's a great thing they're doing. They really are.
And without getting into the minutiae, Darren, of your personal experience, is this is a result of PTSD from presumably your last combat deployment? Is that?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, Parachute 19, 2010. Yeah.
Was that Afghanistan? Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've spoken to quite a few veterans from Afghanistan, so you don't need to tell me anything else. I'm right in thinking that if there are veterans watching who think that they could benefit from a visit, and it's completely free for veterans, am I correct on that?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. Okay. So, if there's British veterans that want to get in touch, is it right that they need to track you guys down via the Facebook group? That's the best way. Is that correct?
Yeah, they can just look up PTSD Camp Bath and then put a message on there or something like that. Or we're on. That's on Facebook. Or they can look me up, Dion Drayson. I'm on Facebook, or Jo Drayson. She's on Facebook. Look us up and just send us a message, and we promise you we get back in touch.
I've just put the Facebook group up on the chat stream there, so I think it might already be in the information below as well, but it's also on the chat there. Just had a super chat from Rory Herbert. Thank you for that, by the way, Rory. Yesterday, I attended a funeral service in Wiltshire for a 104-year-old World War II veteran who served in the artillery in Burma. You have to respect these men. Rory, do put his name in the chat, please, and we'll give him a personal shout out. And again, I could not agree more. I interviewed, I think it was about 7 or 8 men from 7th Para, World War II veterans, and sadly the last one passed away during COVID, during the lockdown. And you know, talking to them is very you know, it kind of brings you back down to earth a bit. Do you know what I mean? You think you've been through stuff and whatnot, and then you're remembering that these guys were sort of somewhere between 18 to 22, jumped out of an aeroplane in the dark and went running around and had to kill Germans, and who were trying to kill them. So
but if you get to sort of hear Alfie's little story, which is on Darren's thing,
it's phenomenal.
I don't know if he does, but he tells you,
he goes into detail.
His paybook, army paybook, which he's still got, says he's 99 years of age.
Right.
But he was actually 17 and a half when he joined, but he had to say he was 18 and a half.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have got there.
He told a fib, like a lot of them did, to get in. Yeah. That, I'm very familiar with that also.
I think he says that on his story.
He says it on the story, It does, on that video. Yeah.
Right.
It does.
So after, I imagine after he took his wound in Normandy, that must have been it for him in World War II, if he took a bullet to the face or the cheek. Is that correct? After that, he was out?
Yeah, I think he had quite a while convalescing back in the UK. And I do believe he told me that a few months had gone by, and then I think he rejoined his battalion.
Right. Oh, that's
interesting. But we're actually hoping to, if we raise, well, we have raised quite a bit of money, but we're hoping to take him to Pegasus Bridge.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great.
That would be the 80th year. So that would be a big celebration.
Yeah, I may well be over there for that.
I imagine he'll be the main man.
Yeah,
he'll probably lead that parade.
There's very few of them left, sadly, and I think all but one of the ones we spoke to, except for a guy called Ernie, who I think has emigrated to Australia, they're all gone now. And I did wonder how many are going to be there for next year, but yeah, so that would be great. I mean, if you could get him over there, that would be fantastic. And of course, he needs to, stay somewhere decent and all the rest of it. I can certainly make some recommendations. Got another comment here from NHPUKTV at the PTSD camp. Thanks for the stream and God bless Alfie. So I don't know if that's a friend of yours, but sounds like it is. How long's the PTSD camp been going, Dion? And was that your idea? How did that all come about?
Yeah, okay. So me and my wife were on we sort of went to a demo up in Nottingham, and there was a lot of ex-veterans there, and they were getting people. Obviously, people were talking at the demo, and they asked me if I would sort of do a talk because I'm ex-veteran, blah blah blah. And I got up and I did a bit of a spiel, and then I invited any vet who's suffering PTSD or whatever. You can come down to our place in Bath and join us, and we'll host you. We'll look after you. And then several months later, several people took us up on it, and all of a sudden, I had to start building things to make so that people could be comfortable. And then we built a bunkhouse, and in the bunkhouse we got like a double bed and 2 bunk beds, and then a sitting room. And it's got everything in it, kettle,
clubhouse.
And then we built the clubhouse where you can sit around and talk and have a chat. And you can feed yourself. There's cooker and things like that in there, and
freezer full of food.
Yeah, freezers full of food and everything like that. Where you can sit outside.
What about the flag post?
Yeah, and then we made a memorial. So across the way is a big memorial with flag poles, and we fly the flags, different flags, different regiments flags we fly at different times. Try and mix them up. And we made a massive cross, and it's a big white cross in the ground where we cut the turf away, and there's a seat there, and you can watch the sun go down and sit there and sort of reminisce, if you like. In the summer and that, it's lovely. It's lovely. It's on a slight bit of a hill, which makes it even better. But you know, a lot of people sort of come and they just go and look at it and sit there and reminisce, and you know,
sit around the fire, innit?
Yeah, we got a campfire. You can sit round, and you know, gone are the days when we used to sort of tell we used to shoot the shit, if you like, and we'd tell a story, and then someone else would tell a story. We don't do that anymore, so we don't want to hear the horrors of what happened, what we've been through.
Yeah,
we just like to have the fun side of things now. You know what I mean? Because you're thinking people got PTSD, so we need to move away from that. So we talk about the fun times in the army, the cracks, the jokes we'd have, and what we'd pull on people, and all things like that. And and it works, and it's great.
So I mean, if someone, you know, contacts you, and are there particular time slots when you allow people to come? What's the structure for when they turn up? Is it kind of a bit loose?
If they need to come, they can come ASAP. If we need to send them money to get them on a train or whatever, then we'll do that. If we can go and pick them up, we'll do that. There's no time limit or anything like that. If they need help, we can provide the help. If we can't provide the help, we have got people in place, ex-nurses and things like that, who will come, excuse me, and help that way. So if they got sort of a mental issue or something like that, we can help that way. And we got people what will come straight to our camp to help that person if they require it. If me and Joe can't do it. We also got vets, ex-vets, what will turn up just to help that individual, you know, and they'll come a long way to help. So all that, like I said, we got the bunkhouse, but we've also got a shower block. So if the people need their own space, say, they can be in the bunkhouse, they can make their cups of tea, and they can stay down there out the way of anyone. And they got their own shower block, you got your own washing machine, you got your own tumble dryer, and you can do all that and start putting your head together. And then you can make your way back, because we're about 70 meters away. You can make your way back up to the clubhouse, where we got a massive table. It's about 20 foot long. And we all sit round there, make a cup of tea, and have a chat if you want to. But if you want your own space, you can go down to the bunkhouse. But we'll always check on you to make sure you're all right. So
it's not a structured course or anything. It's just somewhere where people can come and chill out and get their heads together in a sort of serene country setting, and so on.
Nothing.
It's a little bit roughing it, but I imagine veterans will be used to that.
Yeah, we haven't got a strict routine or anything like that. They can do what they want to do. There's always something to do, so you can muck in. You can milk the goats if you want. There's always something to do.
I wouldn't say it was roughing it. The bunkhouse is made pretty well, and it's got heating in there. It's got electric. You know, it's brilliant. It's just like it reminds me of a big static caravan. I think it's brilliant.
Is it kind of like a
proper beds in there?
Is it a posh upmarket barracks? Is that a posh upmarket barracks? Would that be a fair description? I'm trying to visualize it in my head.
No, it's got a big veranda to it and all that, and it's like a log cabin. You've got two big leather settees and that in there, so you've got your own lounge. You can watch telly if you want. A double bed, two bunk beds, all that. And then when you come out of there, you've got table and chairs. You can sit on the big veranda and look at the views, or if you want to, you can just walk straight into your own shower and toilet and that. If you want to wash your clothes, it's all there. You can just do all that.
And presumably, Dion, you're there all the time, as and when veterans come.
Yeah, there's always someone there.
Yeah.
If I'm not there or my wife's not there, I've got two daughters. One of my daughters will be there.
And
there's always someone there.
I think you're a brave man putting your daughters manning this place with a load of veterans coming back there to roost. But where is it located? Where is this place?
Where is the place? St. Norman.
Yeah, a place called.
Oh, I lost the audio there for a second.
Go on.
Sorry, say that again.
And that is about 6 miles outside of Bath.
Okay, so Bath is the nearest main station.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And
we're 10 minutes from Bath.
Great. Sounds like something that'd be very valuable to any veterans listening. The Facebook group is in the chat there. So if anybody wants to follow that up and contact Dion, they can do so via those means. Darren has just made use of it. And how did you find it benefited you personally, Darren, in dealing with your PTSD from time of service?
So, sorry, can you say that again? You're breaking up. The line was really bad.
That's okay. I just wanted to ask you, how did you find that the Darren's venue? How did you find it benefited you with your PTSD?
Yeah. So when I went there, I sat around the campfire. I met a load of veterans there, and I was just having a general chat with them, and they're all friendly. They'd been at the camp a couple of times before me. They chipped in and helped support the camp, and they were just so friendly. I felt like when I spent the weekend there, I went away after the weekend I was there, and the weight was lifted off my shoulders. I was struggling through mental health and stuff just from personal issues at the time, and it was just great. It just feels like I've been there about 5-6 times now, and I spend like a week there. I spent 9 days here the last time, sometimes a weekend, and it's just so friendly. It's like one big family. We're all one big family,
Sure.
It's just great. It's just somewhere to reach out to. And Joe and Dion will always drop a message and check in and make sure you're right. If they haven't heard from you for a couple of months, they know something's up. They're always looking out for vets and always sending us a message, and it's great. It makes me feel safe, and makes me feel that someone's looking out for me as well. That's my experience from it.
It sounds really vital for you. What do you do? 100%. What do you do now, Darren? Now that you're out of the army?
So basically, I was an electrical and mechanical engineer. I'm a qualified electrician. I worked on generators. I was manager at one company. I've been suffering mental health for the past couple of years, so I've been out of work. But funny enough, I was supposed to have a job interview today in Bristol, but it's been postponed. So I'm looking to get back into work and getting back on the electrical mechanical engineer on the generator side. But whilst my time has been off, I've just been going around. This is a focus for me, helping Alfred, looking after vets, going to the camp, and doing things like this. So yeah, it's keeping me busy, and it's good for my mental health as well.
Yeah, I have to say my experience with my own PTSD, and for those people watching, no, I'm not ex-forces. This came about by a completely different type of event, but for me, it's been keeping busy has been key. Keeping busy, having things to focus on. This channel is a big part of it for me with my own mental health,
and it generally works as well, having a focus.
Yeah, it's definitely a big part of moving forward and healing and all of that kind of thing. Yeah. Have you accessed? I'm interested to know about any experiences you've had with accessing any kind of professional counselling, either through the council or your GP or anything. What's that been like? Has that been difficult?
I worked alongside the mental health team the past couple of years, and I'm very political, so I don't trust the system. They wanted to throw me on these medication, pregabalin and Valium, and I don't want to be putting this rubbish in my body. So I'm like, I don't need that. And this is why I reach out to the camp, because I go to the camp and that's what I need. I need people around. I need people there, and it's good for my mental. I don't want to be pumped in with Valium and pregabalin just to be
I don't
want to get into the political side of it, but
no. I was offered a course of tablets, and I said no, thank you. I'm already taking enough tablets for heart medication.
That's not good for my mental health.
So, I don't think tablets is always the answer.
So I sort of brush them under the carpet, and now I just go to the camp.
Right. Okay.
And it works for me. It really does.
Well, let's bring this back round to Alfie. I'm just going to share this article. It's a very good article, actually, from The Guardian. And here he is with his medals on. Lovely photograph. With proudly wearing his red beret. Some people would probably, if that was one of my actors on set, they'd moan at me and say it would need to be drooping more over to the left. And I do keep telling people how someone's beret looks is probably not their first priority when they're under fire in Normandy. But yeah, so his daughter is also his carer, along with her husband. But I mean, you know, it's I imagine that it's beyond their capacity or ability to care for themselves full time. It's not easy.
Yeah, we had a chat with Debbie about that, his daughter, and yeah, she is struggling. She hardly gets any free time for herself, you know. So
yeah, I can imagine. So there is a PayPal link right below where people can make donations. Now, I have to ask this question because Alfred is not a man of young years. He's 98. He is in good health. We're hoping he's going to get to the big 100 and get the letter from the king and all the rest of it. If some money's raised for him, or regardless of the sum, and God forbid he passes on, and I'm going to touch some wood so that doesn't happen. But God forbid that would happen. What would happen with the funds? Where would they go? What would they be put into?
If something happens to Alfie, what would happen to the funds? Is that what you said?
Yeah. I just think it's an important issue to address, because I know some people will ask that question simply because of his age.
At the moment, he's got all the funds.
Yeah, he's got the GoFundMe the GoFund. Dion did on it.
Gets paid straight into his bank account.
I got the PayPal, and that'll be on the 4th of next month. That'll all be handed over to him. So from the 4th of next month, all the donations would be there already, because the PayPal account will be closed down on the 4th. It's only set for so long.
So basically, the fundraising.
I don't think he's going to pop his clogs by then.
No, God, let's hope not. The fundraising efforts are basically concerted for like the next 3-4 weeks, and then that all finishes. Is that what you're saying, essentially?
Yeah, on the PayPal, I think the GoFundMe's finished, but I think there's other items like there's mugs and T-shirts being sold and wristbands. So if anything comes in after that, obviously the donation we're going to send it to Alfie. Like you've had people send money in the post, haven't you? You just send it straight to Alfie, or
we send it, or we take it and give it to Debbie. But when they eventually get a property, they're going to have to go out and buy things like the washing machine and all things like that, and obviously carpet, curtains. So all that money hopefully is going to be used to make him, for what he's got left, comfortable
as he can now.
Yes.
No, listen, absolutely, and I only ask this question because I want to allay anyone's fears that, when you're doing fundraising of any kind these days, it's always good to address these things up front and just allay any fears that anyone has. And I have no doubt whatsoever that the money's going to go in the right place. It would also be good to be able to fund his trip to Normandy as well, of course.
Of course. Yeah, his fishing trips. He went fishing last week. He said he really enjoyed it. He said that he went to a lake and he was catching fish. He said it was unbelievable. He said we'd catch a fish every time. He said otherwise I wouldn't want to go fishing. He said, but he really loved where he was going, and he went fishing Monday just gone, I believe.
Are you guys gonna take some video footage of the walk tomorrow? And
so I'll be going live tomorrow as well. I'm participating in the walk. There's a guy called John Lawrence. It will be on my Facebook page. I will actually share you the link as well. He's going to be live all the way through, so he's going to do he's going to do a live from the start. UK National Housing Party he's leader of, so he's going to come down and do the filming every mile. He's obviously going to go live, and then the finish line he's going to be there as well. So we've got a professional guy coming down to do the filming, so it'll all be
Fantastic. I mean, if you put together any kind of compilation video or whatever, just let me know, and I'll do a follow-up stream and you know, pick it up.
We've also got a guy that I spent this week with, Tom. He's 75, and fair play to him. He wants to get down there, and obviously he's 75, and he's not suitable to do the walk. But fair play to him. He's got his scooter, and he's going to come on his electric scooter and do the 10-mile with us on his electric scooter. And you know, his passion and you know, he's from where's he?
He comes from Manchester.
He come all the way to Bath to stay.
He's staying with us.
He's dedicated. He's going to come down all the way to Pembrokeshire tomorrow, and he's going to do it on his electric scooter. So big shout out to Tom for doing that as well. He's got my respect there.
Fantastic. So just to remind people, to sort of wrap this up, if you want to get directly involved and do something also to bring more publicity to the case, turn up at Pembroke train station at 10 a.m. Tomorrow for the charity walks. About a 10-mile walk. Should be a pretty nice walk to Tenby Town Centre. What time are you estimating your arrival at Tenby to be?
Well, basically, if walking at an average speed, it should take 3.5 hours. But we do have water stops and breaks and stuff like that. So we're looking at 4.5 hours.
Or if you all hang off the back of Tom's scooter, maybe 20 minutes if it's all downhill.
Well, I'll be hanging off the back of it, let me tell you.
Okay,
when people ain't looking, obviously, or when the light's not on me.
So your estimated, your ETA in Tenby would probably be realistically probably between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
2 and 3, 3 and 4 maybe.
So, 2 and 3. I'd say 3 o'clock would be the latest.
Yeah. Okay. So between 2:30 and 3 o'clock, if you want to be in Tenby, and
we'll be there for a couple of hours collecting anyway. So
cheer our veterans on, and maybe make a donation for Alfie there, or you can do it online. If you can't afford it and times are hard, then people watching, listen, it takes 5 seconds to do a post on your social media, whatever you may have, whether you're on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of those.
Just share this live.
Just do a post and share the cause. If you haven't, we know times are hard. Got, you know, electric bills for winter, nearly £1,000 for some people. But if you can't afford to put your hand in your pocket, what you can do is you can share the cause, so other people who can afford it will find out about it. And if that's the least you could do, it'd be great. And
also like this live stream. I think you deserve credit as well for hosting the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. No, that's not a problem. I'm a big believer.
And if you haven't subscribed to his channel, give him a subscribe, because he's gone out of his way to do this live show for us. So that's the least you guys could do for us. That'd be great.
Thank you very much. Yeah, do subscribe to the channel. It's got a bit of a mixed bag of content, but I'm sure people will find it interesting, particularly the industry interviews. There's lots of familiar British faces on there, as well as a few American ones as well. And for anybody who's interested in the work that I do, my screenplays for all of the airborne related stuff that I've done, including the Paratrooper pilot, and now all out on Amazon. So you can get them on Amazon. The episode about Arnhem is out, and that's also covers the episode of Crete as well, which is told from the German perspective. And the Pegasus Bridge screenplay is also on there. So, something else you wanted to add there, Darren, at all? Dion?
No, if we're coming to an end now, aren't we? We've literally
more or less
got through the door and got in time for this live show, because we travelled from the PTSD Bath to come down here for the event. I just want to say a big thanks to Joe and Dion. I'd like you guys to share this and promote you and promote the camp, and let's try and raise some money for Alfred. If you've donated already, thank you so much. And if you can make a small donation, no donation is too small. Please, we need to get this guy housed and make him as comfortable, because what he's going through, he shouldn't be going through. If he served our country, your country should serve you.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Absolutely agree with that. So for anyone watching, let's help improve Alfie's situation, and also let him know that his country cares about him, because the council sure aren't doing it. So I think we need to show him that there are people who remember and respect what he did for us.
Yeah, and also, Alfie, there is a video on my page which I will share out. I will send to you. He has thanked everyone who has donated, and he got a bit teary-eyed and got a bit emotional, which I had to walk away at that point because I started getting emotional as well. But yeah, he has thanked everyone, and he can't believe the support he's getting and stuff, and he deserves that credit. He deserves that respect, you know.
Yeah.
So I take my hat off to him.
Absolutely. Rennie, who's one of my moderators and a personal friend of mine, has already shared the stream. Thank you very much for doing that, Rennie. And I've got a few veterans on my friends list, and I'm sure they'll all do the same. Well, look, guys, thanks so much for coming in and talking about this worthwhile cause, and also just shedding a light on a I guess I'd call it a little sanctuary for British veterans who are maybe experiencing emotional difficulties or indeed just troubled times. Do reach out. Care of the Facebook link. I will drop it in the chat again now, actually. So if you fancy a few days away in a country setting, or you may want to wait until it's warm again next year. It's getting a bit cold now, but their doors are always open. They would love to hear from you. And if you can help towards Alfie's cause, that would be absolutely fantastic. So thanks, guys, for coming on. And I was more than happy to organise this at short notice. So to let people know what I've got coming up next, believe it or not, by sheer coincidence, and it is sheer coincidence, tomorrow I'm doing a live watch party, an in-depth discussion of the film The Longest Day, which I bet is a favourite film of your two. So tomorrow I'm discussing the movie The Longest Day on this channel at 9 o'clock. That's been scheduled for several months. It just so happens that it's coinciding the day after this appeal, which is a bit of synergy, really. So if you tune into my channel tomorrow at 9, I will be discussing with some guests, some special guests. I'll be talking about The Longest Day. We'll be looking at where it was filmed, how it was filmed, and talking about the first big D-Day movie, the one that came before Saving Private Ryan. Then on the 17th of October, I've got another industry interview coming up with one of the makeup special effects artists who worked on Babylon 5, Demolition Man, and about 200 other credits on his IMDb. And I'm also going to be on the Critical Drinkers channel on the 2nd of October discussing the film The Thing. So there's quite a lot going on with the channel and with me on other people's channels, and probably loads more stuff that I've forgotten to mention. So just check it out. It'll always be there. Dion and Darren, thanks again ever so much for coming in. Guys, do check out the links. If you've joined the stream late, go back and rewatch it. All the relevant information is pretty near the beginning as well. And I really would just want to thank you for bringing this to my attention, and I'm glad I was able to help, albeit in some
thank you
really
for helping.
way.
Thank you for having us.
All right, take care, everyone.